So these simple but very effective exercises are great to do when you don't have any equipment. A lot of people say, hey, I don't have a gym membership, I don't have any equipment, so I'm not going to work out. But these exercises are just as effective. They're easy to do. I'm going to do some of the ones where you're lying down or on your knees on a couch. You can do them on the floor. The floor is a much firmer surface, so it makes it a little bit easier, but I know some of you can't get down on the floor. And it actually makes it a little bit more challenging when the surface is a little squishier. So a couch or a bed, they can be done there, but it is going to be more challenging. So the first one is just going to be bridges. Bridges are simple, but they're great for your glutes and your hamstrings and your core in general. So just lying down, you want your feet and knees and hips to be in alignment. And then you can place your hands, I usually place them down here, but I'm not using my hands. So if you feel like you're trying to push up with your hands, you can place them on your tummy or just with a little bit of balance with your hands. But make sure you're using your legs to come up. So I like to say kind of roll up one segment at a time. You don't have to stop at each segment of your back, but that's what you want to feel more of a roll. You don't want to just come up and down because that's using momentum and that's not really getting a good exercise. So just rolling up. Go as high as you comfortably can. Ideally, you want to get in a fairly straight line, but if you can't come all the way up, that's okay. And then just nice and slow rolling back down. So coming up and then rolling down. Nice and smooth movements coming up and down. So you can do these for time, like however many you can comfortably do in 30 seconds, or you can do for reps and sets, and it's kind of different for everybody. So after you do that, then you're going to roll over, and we'll start off with a modified plank. So a modified plank is when you're on your knees. So getting your elbows pretty much in alignment underneath your shoulders. Again, if you're on your couch or your bed, it'll make it more challenging. And it's a little bit squishier, so just make sure you feel good and stable doing it, and you might not be comfortable doing it on a bed or a couch. So just coming up, squeezing in. It doesn't look like I'm coming up super high, but my hips are coming up off of the couch. I'm engaging the core. I'm squeezing my booty muscles, those glute muscles. And then you can just start off with something like 10 to 15 seconds, come back down and take a break. If you can get up to a minute very easily, then you can go into a full plank. So scooting your feet around your pupper, still same position with your shoulders, your elbows kind of in alignment with your shoulders so you don't end up irritating your shoulders, and then coming all the way up. Same technique where you're squeezing in the booty muscles, holding that core nice and tight, keeping your head in a neutral position, starting off with 10 to 15 seconds. If you can work up to a minute, then I have some advanced videos where you can start using, moving your leg and stuff as well. So then after that, to start getting some balance type stuff, get on all fours, or what we call quadruped. And this is just a bird dog, or that's what we kind of call it. Imagine, Bear got excited when I said bird dog. He likes to watch the birds. So when you lift up one arm, you're going to kick out the opposite leg. So same kind of thing where you want your hands about in alignment with your shoulders, so you don't want them super far out and you don't want them close in. And you want your knees about hip width apart too. Try and keep your back in a nice neutral position so you're not arched up or down flat. You're kind of trying to keep it straight, and then getting everything in a nice neutral position when you start. So if I lift up my left arm, then I'm going to kick out my right leg. So just going into this position and coming back in and alternating. So you can see it's more challenging on a couch. Again, the firmer surface is easier, but if you feel like when you lift, let's see, I'm going to come up, and if I drop like this and roll over, then you're probably not ready for it. You want to try and keep everything in that nice neutral position when you're going back and forth. So just kind of same thing, working your way up. You can do it for time, or you can do it for reps and sets. Then going ahead and standing up, you're just going to do, starting off with a simple sit to stand, but you can progress it into squats. So with sit to stands, all you're going to do is just feet about hip width apart, toes pointing forward. Now, this is where it all comes into whatever you want to listen to. I don't like my knees going in front of my toes, especially if you have some knee issues or hip issues. You want to work your glute muscles. You want to use your quads and your hamstrings. So if your knees are going over your toes, if you can do that and there's no pain, that's fine, but then you're working different muscles. The muscles I want to work, I'm sticking my bottom back, I'm hinging at my joints or my hip joints, and I'm coming back, starting off, sitting all the way down, coming back up, just that nice, controlled. You want to imagine something fragile is down there, and you want to just simply go down super slow and come back up so you're not plopping down. If you can do that and it's easy and you can get to 25 to 30, then trying to go into a squat where you're not actually touching. So I'm hinging back, getting that big bend in there. Again, that's the way I like to do it. That's the way I teach it. Good body mechanics, but then not actually touching down. I would still recommend having your couch or a chair or something behind you, so if you do then get to here and you feel like you need to sit all the way down, there's something back there where you can do that. So then the next one is going to just be a modified lunge. So same kind of thing with modification. I'm modifying it a little bit, so maybe it wouldn't technically be a lunge, but this is to make sure that you're a little bit more stable, a little bit more safe while you're doing it. And then when you get this down and you can do it easily, then you can go into a full lunge. So I like to have my leg out into that lunge position and leave it out. Now, ideally, when you do a regular lunge, you're going to lunge down and come back up. You can do that after you kind of accomplish this and you're really good at it and you feel nice and balanced. But staying in this lunge position to me is good because then you can hold on to something if you need to, do it by a countertop, have a chair next to you. If you have a cane or a walker or something, you can have that to use. Feet facing forward in the front and the back. Sometimes people want to turn it out like this. That's changing the muscles that you're working, so you want everything to be pointed forward. And then you're just going to go straight down. So same thing. I don't really want my knee going way in front of my toes like that because that's the changing the way that you're exercising your muscles, and then you're working different muscles. So for a modified lunge, you're really just kind of unlocking everything and going down just to where you can feel comfortable. So your knee doesn't have to go all the way to the floor. You can even put a couple pillows or a bolster underneath so you have a target where you're just unlocking and coming back up. And then you can kind of progress to, so if you feel good and you can do 20 of those there, then the next time you do it, then you can go a little bit further and then come back up. I like to do them all on one side and then switch, like I said, just mainly for balance issues. But if you want to alternate each time and do this step out, you certainly can. But I feel like when you do this, that was a little bit more over my toes, then you can kind of really focus on what you're doing and not have to focus on not falling over in the balance component. And then again, you can kind of progress from there. And then you're going to work on some balance stuff. So again, you can hear me. I'm working. I'm getting my breathing going a little bit because these are great exercises. And when you're focusing on them, you can do more and you're not having to talk the whole time. But this one now is just going to be a single balance stance with a little bit of a reach. So it's just like it sounds, single leg balance. So I'm on one foot and I'm getting my balance. So once I find my balance, then I'm just going to reach forward. If you want to put a chair or if you want to be in front of like the countertop or something so you can actually have something to touch, you can do that. Or you can just do like I'm doing, just kind of reach forward until you feel like you can't really go any further and then try and come back up into that position. And then each time you can start going a little bit further and a little bit further, really working on that balance. You can alternate if you want to, but for this, it's going to be more challenging if you stay on one leg because you're doing that balance completely on one leg. Go until you get tired. Don't go until you feel like you're going to fall, just so you're like, ooh, I feel that burn, and then switch over to the other side. So if you're interested in supporting my channel, click on the link up there, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking down by Remy. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.